Motorcycling is almost never about the destination. That's what four-wheeled vehicles are for. Motorcycling is all about the journey. The smells, the fluctuations in temperature, even the sights you may miss when you're focusing on the end goal. This is why motorcycling is such a different lifestyle, and why most of us who endeavor to journey on two wheels have such a deep understanding of what it means in life to just enjoy the ride. Motorcycling also brings forth a desire to explore our surroundings. We're out looking for new roads, meeting new people, stopping at different roadside attractions and venues. It creates a different kind of a person, bringing out parts of us that yearned to see the light. Like most motorcyclists, I too love to explore new roads, both literally and figuratively speaking. For me, it's a journey that never ends. Like a short-distance vagabond, I love to explore my community. In a car or a truck, I simply drive from point A to point B, sometimes taking notice of interesting roads that I'd love to come back to someday on my bike. When I'm on my bike, I'm always looking for the new long road home. And every time I meet another motorcyclist, whether a hardcore biker or a weekend enthusiast, I know I'm meeting someone with that same spirit. Even though I prefer a single-seated vehicle, I still love to interact with others who feel the same way. We stop, exchange stories, and move on to the next profound experience. This is another part of my journey. Whether you ride two wheels or a chair in front of your computer, I think you'll appreciate some of what I've picked up along the way. So tune in your listening ears and join me on this leg of the voyage as we hear the next story.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to The Next Story. I'm Justin, and I am here today with Noah Mandia. How you doing, Noah?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for coming, man.
Absolutely, man. We are here at your shop here at Sweet Avenue Cycles in Newburgh, New York.
Check it out.
I noticed, the first thing I noticed about your shop here, you are straight old school. And I mean, the bikes are old school. I see a VCR over there playing old school VHS tapes. I see a stereo receiver. Like, you got it all going exactly. I feel like I just stepped back in time. I love it.
Yeah, man. Growing up, our dad was an antique furniture repairman.
Okay.
So we were surrounded by antiques growing up. And then when I started to find out about motorcycles and kind of like, you start to build a style and figure out what you're into, I realized my interests were mechanical. And then I realized that my interests were much more stripped down. The further I could get from a car or anything that wasn't a motorcycle, I would like no amenities. That's where I wanted to be.
Do you have a year range that you generally work on for bikes?
Yeah, so we try to say like 2000 or older.
Okay.
We usually go up to maybe 2004, 2003 with Sportsters, just because that's when they started to switch to rubber-mounted frames, and then they started to switch to fuel-injected there.
Okay.
So we stay further carbureted only, and then if we can, we try to say older than the 90s.
Nice.
Yeah, we try to say further and further.
Now, you've got to run into trouble at some points when looking for parts.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Luckily, there's a decent aftermarket for Harley.
Okay.
Just because of the community that has existed over the years. There seem to be more and more people who are popping up that make interesting and cool parts that retrofit a lot of stuff. And that kind of drives the custom culture too, because if you can't find it, you got to make it. And then, boom, you have a whole other industry.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you come across that at all, where you've had to make something and now you're getting requests to make specific parts at all?
That's kind of what we're looking for, That's the ideal pocket to exist in.
Yeah.
Is to find the thing, that we need, but then also other people need. So that's kind of what we're working on, and that will be the progression of the shop. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, I know one of the first things a lot of people notice when they come into Newburgh, especially hitting Water Street, and they see that motorcycle city.
Yes.
It's so it's cool to see. There's not an extensive amount of motorcycle shops necessarily in Newburgh, and so you got to be one of the newest ones here.
That I'm aware of, and the cool part about that is that the demand has kind of shown itself in that way, and and it is there. Lots of people have this old stuff, but not a lot of people want to work on it.
Ah, gotcha. You guys put on rides and parties and bike nights and stuff like that at all?
Most recently, we had a season opener ride, and the night before we had like a little invite pre-party with a friend who brought an espresso cart. So we had a whole bunch of people here, and that felt really good. And then the next day, with the espresso cart still here, shout out Downstate Kitchen and Coffee and Brandon Cremia. When everyone rolled up with bikes, everyone had some coffee. A bunch of people who had never met each other all met each other, and then we rode out from here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Did you guys stay Hudson Valley area? Where all did you guys go?
So that particular ride, we went out to Ellenville. Up 52.
Okay.
That beautiful scenic. One of the best views in the Hudson Valley, I think.
Nice.
That scenic overlook there.
So as I've been getting around here throughout Newburgh, I spend a lot of time over at the Motorcyclopedia, and I've talked to Ted Doring that owns the Motorcyclopedia, and actually, he's been dealing with motorcycles here in Newburgh for decades, and it's Ted's Cycle.
Oh yeah.
So I seen like they're leading the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride coming up here in a few weeks. Do you got aspirations, to kind of take over the bringing of Motorcycle City, or?
No, not aspirations necessarily, but to definitely aspirations to build a community to the extent that we can.
Nice.
If I've learned anything about motorcycles, all anyone wants is a destination to go to. And part of the future plans for this is to make it a destination for people to go to.
Are you? Do you have an online presence with Sweet Avenue Cycles?
We have an Instagram account.
Okay.
It's Sweet Avenue Cycles. That's pretty much all it is right now. Honestly, all of our business has come from word of mouth, which has been super nice. As we build relationships with the community, and then we'll post projects on there and such. And
nice.
Yeah, that's it so far. But we're definitely expanding and progressing.
Very cool. And that's just all one word, or?
Yep. Yeah. Sweet Avenue Cycles.
Nice. And then aside from the cycle business here, I understand you're actually in a band as well.
Yeah. So grew up going to hardcore shows forever, and then in 2002, some of my best friends and I, we were like, hey, let's do a band of our own and kind of engage in the community in a different way. And so we started a band. We call it Low Fiction.
Low Fiction.
Yep. Yeah.
Cool.
And I love doing it.
Hardcore band?
Not a hardcore band, much more on the stoner metal, like heavy metal end.
Nice.
Which felt cool to do something a little bit different than most of the local shows we go to, but we incorporate all of the influences from hardcore, that attitude and lessons from that scene.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you mentioned the amount of hardcore shows here, because not a lot of people may know, but like Newburgh is actually a hub for East Coast hardcore.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. Hudson Valley hardcore is bigger than it's ever been. Most recently, there was actually a show right over here at Untouchable, called, a show that had both new and old Hudson Valley hardcore bands.
Okay.
All Out War being one of like the most legendary
absolutely
bands from Newburgh. Played in Newburgh in the 90s, and then came back, played this show. It's 2025, and with some of the newer bands, some of the big, some of the other bands that are in the current scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
So it's cool to see the kind of spectrum of where the scene was, where it is, and then where it's going.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what do you play in Low Fiction?
I play lead guitar.
Nice.
Yep. Totally.
And do you have an online presence there with Low Fiction?
Yep. Yeah. Low Fiction HV. That's where we are. We're on Spotify. We're on everything. We recently released a 6-song EP.
Nice.
Called Internal Violence of Spirit. One of my favorite things about the band is being able to incorporate all of our very creative friends and a community of artists who want to help each other, and so we are an amalgamation of all of our creative friends too, and that feels very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, so it's Low Fiction HV, and is that web like .com?
No .com, but Instagram, Twitter, pretty much everywhere. We're most active on Instagram. That would be the place to find us. And then the actual music is on all streaming services.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah, anywhere you can find it.
Are you on YouTube or anything? You have videos out?
Yep. YouTube, Low Fiction on YouTube. We have some live videos. All of the recorded music is up there for streaming as well.
Nice.
And then we love to play shows, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's you're really finding the time between living the dream right there, right? You're turning wrenches, riding bikes, and cranking out on a guitar.
Man, if there was 2 things I could do, I would love to just work on bikes and play music.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Well, maybe one day I'll see you out there with your guitar strapped over your back while you're riding.
Come on, man. You know it's coming.
All right. So, what year is this? What are we looking at?
This is a 1973 Ironhead. We are building it for a customer and friend. The style is, we try to lean into like a late 60s, kind of early 70s style. It's mostly built around these set of Invader wheels, old chopper style. And when we got it, who knows the last time it ran? Literally, no one knows. From the people who we got it from, have no idea when the last time it ran.
Oh, wow.
And so, as we've gone through, and kind of my favorite part is breaking things down to each system, each component, and finding broken things in each system and each component that you didn't expect to be broken, but somehow are. And so that's what we've done, is we've gone front to back, the process of each thing, and then we finally got it to the point now where we're pressing the start button. So
nice.
Soon enough, this thing will be on the road. I couldn't be more excited.
Very cool. Yeah. Love it. You got a few others in here. Want us to take a quick look around?
All right, let's look at. So Joe, my brother, is he's in the shop 50/50 with me. This is his 83 Ironhead. He's done a ton of work to it, and to the point where he even 3D printed these grips that say Sweet Avenue Cycles. Pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Recently, he rode this thing to South Carolina and back to visit our sister.
Nice.
And he had a great time. Yeah.
Very cool.
Back here we have our buddy Will's 72 XS650. Ton of fun. Always need something. Work coming up. Old 75 Harley, but it's an Italian motorcycle called an Aramacci, when they wanted to get into like a dirt bike kind of style.
Oh, wow.
They reached out to an Italian company, Aramacci, and then slapped Harley all over it.
Nice.
This is for sale. This is a buddy of ours. It's an 80, I want to say 82. When we first got in here, this was one of the first projects that we worked on with our buddy Peter. And it was basically pulling from a box of parts that we had and putting them into this to make it work. This is my 86 Sportster. It's a 2-year, only 1100. It's crashed it years ago, rebuilt it how I wanted. Again, I love the late 60s, early 70s style. And ride this thing anywhere.
Very cool.
Yeah, thanks. It's in a hardtail frame. Initially, I was going to extend the forks, but if I've learned anything from doing this, once you put something on and it looks right, just don't change it. So we put the stock front end on, and it was just right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It'll kind of tell you what's right.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. So again, this is Sweet Avenue Cycles and your band Low Fiction.
Yep.
So I know I want to be keeping an eye out. You guys play pretty often, right?
Yeah. We got a show coming up. Obviously, it'll be past by the time it comes up, but we got a show at Untouchable coming up. Later on in the year, we have a show at in Poughkeepsie. Some good shows, man. Yeah, we're always playing around. Just follow us and check it out on Low Fiction HV everywhere.
All right, fantastic, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me out.
Thanks
I
for coming,
appreciate it.
Justin.
You got it, man. All right, welcome back. I'm Justin. I'm here today with my friend Tommy Gleason, and Tommy is going to talk to us about braking in a turn.
If you're going around a turn, all right, you cannot ask your tires to threshold brake and continue around that turn. It's taking everything for that those tires and that little patch of rubber on the pavement to negotiate the turn. Now, if a deer runs out into your path and you hit the brakes, what's going to happen? If these two fingers represent front tire of your motorcycle, rear tire, you're going around that turn, you hit the brake, you're as soon as that brake gets touched, that rear tire is going to skid. Because you cannot ask your tires to do all that curving and then apply the brakes.
Okay, so what do we do?
So the best thing to do is immediately square your bars, straighten the motorcycle up at the same time, eyes forward, threshold brake, and stop as quickly as you can in a straight line.
And we are doing front and rear brake at the same time, right?
Because it is the only way to brake.
Excellent.
The proper way to brake, I should say.
All right, thank you. Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the next story. I'm Justin, and I'm here today with Dan Volpe. Dan, how you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Excellent. So Dan, you are a local Hudson Valley author. You have how many books published at this point?
18 or 19, somewhere around there.
Man, oh man, killing it.
Yeah, doing good.
And your genre is not just horror, but it's splatterpunk, is that right?
Yeah, Splatterpunk, extreme horror. I toe the line between the two of those.
So explain that to me a little bit. I'm a little new on the subject matter there.
Splatterpunk is more of it's horror with kind of more of a message. It shows the nitty gritty of things. So usually Splatterpunk tackles like an underlying societal theme, usually like drug addiction, sex work, stuff like that. Extreme horror usually is extreme for the sake of being extreme. So your over-the-top gross or violent is generally falls under the extreme horror kind of category. So my books kind of toe the line. Some are splatterpunk, some are extreme just for the sake of extreme, and some are kind of a mix of both.
Wow. Okay, cool. How did you find yourself into that? I mean, I grew up on, Stephen King. That's when you say horror author, Stephen King, that's it. How did you find yourself into this end of things?
So like you, I grew up on Goosebumps, Stephen King, and stuff like that, and reading all that. And then in like the beginning of the Kindle age and the ebook age, things were so much more readily available, and there's so much new stuff out there. So I started just kind of exploring. You get a lot of free books through Amazon and Kindle. So I found an author who actually became a friend of mine, Edward Lee, and I read his book, The Pig, which it's very, very graphic. And when I first read it, I was like, holy shit, I can't believe people can write like this. It was a lot of fun to read, and I'd always been a writer. So as I progressed in my writing and stuff, I was like, I really want to try this. And COVID, the lockdowns and stuff really kind of gave me the opportunity to go forward and just try something a little more aggressive than what I was doing. And it's kind of how I really kicked off writing it.
Nice. Yeah. Very cool. So that's really, I know I read one of your books and I noticed getting into that mode of purposely feeling uncomfortable with what we're reading, and it's just fantastic. So you've got 18, 19 books written. Are you with a publishing company? Do you self-publish? How do you go about that?
I primarily self-publish. Amazon and pretty much the world of computers make things a lot easier for people to self-publish. The publishers are great, but mostly like the independent publishers, they're usually a 1 or 2 person operation. And once you learn the ropes of how to do this stuff yourself, you realize you can kind of cut out the middleman, being the indie publishers, and do it yourself and reclaim all your royalties. If you're publishing with like a big 5, like a New York City publisher or somebody that's on a larger scale, then yeah, it makes more sense to go with them because of the distribution and their networking. But for somebody in my level and the stuff that I write, it's not mainstream. So going with a bigger publisher really doesn't make sense because they probably wouldn't publish it anyway. But so yeah, I primarily self-publish.
It seems like with this splatterpunk and extreme horror, you've really got a specific niche that you target. Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely. There's definitely a dedicated group of readers that they love this stuff. Surprisingly, most of my readers, I'd say, call it 75% are females. And
oh wow!
Yeah, they love it. They love this stuff, and I love them for it. They're great. I meet them a lot at conventions and signings and
conventions. Now, so what kind of conventions do you go to?
So actually, just probably 2 weeks ago, I just got back from Williamsburg, Virginia, at the Scares That Care AuthorCon convention. They host this AuthorCon event once a year in Williamsburg, Virginia, and it's primarily horror authors and readers, and we pretty much set up in picture like a gigantic hotel ballroom full of horror authors. It's like a meet and greet for readers and writers, and we sell our books to the readers. Then we all kind of just hang out afterwards. So,
Nice.
but they're all over the country, different horror conventions. But this one's primarily for books.
Okay. Do you think you do better at the conventions or online or?
So I'll say that the conventions are more like a sprint. Online is more like a marathon. So
Okay.
the conventions are, for the most part, sales throughout the weekend, and you're making a decent sum of money in a couple days. Online is more of like a trickle. You get a couple sales here, you get a couple sales there. I run an online store out of my house pretty much where I sell signed books.
Okay.
So that's, again, when I have a new release, that's like, up here, sell a lot. And then once that release kind of dies down, the sales start to dwindle as well, here and there. And then same thing, when you release a new one, they go back up.
Where do you think you get a lot of your inspiration for a lot of this stuff from?
It's funny because I get that a lot, but
I'll bet, yeah.
I don't have a good answer. It kind of just comes out of the ether. Like, I know that's not what
Okay.
people want to hear. They want to hear this magic well, but it just comes out of the ether. Like, I'll be driving. I listen to a lot of like horror synth music while I'm driving.
Okay.
And things just pop into my head, and there's no rhyme or reason.
Do you have any basis in reality on any of these, or is this all just full fiction coming out of your head?
No, a lot of it is based on reality, and sometimes some of my books have a paranormal element to them, but some of them are steeped in truth. I won the Splatterpunk Award in 2023 for my novel or novella Plastic Monsters.
Nice.
Which
That's the one I read.
Yeah, so that's a body horror plastic surgery thing, and I kind of want to write something about society and how women are portrayed in society and what they go through for beauty, because I do have 2 young daughters, so I kind of see what they go through already as young kids, and that was something that was just near and dear to me. So I wanted to write this story about this woman who's roughly my age, and what I see in society and what I see young girls having to hold themselves to, and just twist it into a horror element.
And I love that you do it that way too. I thought that was really cool. Reading that, it didn't just come across as just like gore for the sake of gore. It really, it was something that really spoke, and it was a message about things that are happening in society. And I thought that was really cool.
Thanks.
You have a new book out now.
I do, yeah. This one is kind of gore for gore. It's kind of fun.
All right.
I did a writing retreat in the beginning of the year with a good friend of mine, Aaron Beauregard. He's a Rhode Island-based author, and I love like mutants. Like Edward Lee does a lot of mutants and backwoods hillbillies and stuff. So like, I want to do something like that. So I had this idea about pretty much a band of mutants that live in the woods and eat people, and I just want to put my spin on it. And yeah, it's ready to rock and roll. It was a fun story. Not too deep of a message in there. It's more of just like, hey, if you're on the beach, you need something you had a couple cocktails, you want something nice and easy and fun to read, and this one's one for you to read.
Cool. What's the name of this one?
Runts, actually. I have a copy right here.
Let's take a look.
So this is it, Runts.
Fantastic.
I have a very talented cover artist, Nick Justice. He's actually a comic book artist. He does a lot of my illustrations. This is all hand-drawn illustrations by him, and he inked it as well. But yeah, so this is the book. Coming out on the 18th on Amazon, ebook, paperback, and the hardcovers are available on my website. So,
very cool.
Little novella, little something fun if you're like mutants, and just a lot of weird, gross, crazy shit.
I noticed the size of your books too. None of these are 1,000-page novels, which is actually fantastic because it's not too much to tackle. And you write in such a way that it's just you don't want to put it down anyway. So all you want to do is sit there and just keep on reading until you pour right through it.
Yeah, I've found my sweet spot with writing is about 40,000 words.
Okay.
I don't like to read a lot of fluff, so when I do get into those, like I'm a big fantasy reader as well.
Okay.
So if I get slogged down in a book that's 1,000, 12, 1,300 pages, it starts to drone on and on. So I like the good stuff. So I try to write just the good stuff. I try to just whittle it down to 40,000 words. I do have some longer ones. I just finished a book last week that's 83,000 words, so it's a little bigger than my norm. And
so you mentioned that you have an online store.
Mm-hmm.
What's the website for that?
It's just my initials. It's djvhorror.com.
djvhorror.com.
Yep, it brings you right to my store. All my books are down in the basement, and I have my little office set up down there. I have my printer, my computer, and tons of bubble mailers, and I send everything right out in the post office.
Nice. And you're on social media as well?
Yep, all the big ones, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, which is huge. X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I think I'm on Blue Sky as well, but I really don't use that much. Facebook is just Daniel J. Volpe. Okay. Most of them are Daniel J. Volpe, or I think Instagram is DJV Horror. So it's some iteration of that. And I usually have like I have a logo that I use to put on pretty much everything. So I actually had my guy put it on the back of this. I can get the dust jacket off. So you'll see this logo pop up on a lot of stuff.
Oh, excellent. Here, let's get a close look at that.
So that's my logo. So if you ever see that in anything, that was actually drawn by my friend Aaron's wife.
Oh, cool.
And so yeah, if you see that little logo, my last name means fox in Italian. So
oh, nice.
It's pretty.
Well, thank you very much for meeting with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to reading some more of your stuff, and I hope to see you out there at some of these conventions.
Oh yeah.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to The Next Story. I'm Justin, your host, and I'd like to talk to you just a little bit about why you're watching this show in the first place. Why did I do an interview show about motorcycles? Well, I wrote a book, and I wanted to be able to help promote that book. I wanted to get my name out there before the book came out so people didn't just go, who the hell is this guy and why should I read this book? Well, your answer is right here. The question you may be having is, what is this book about? Why should I even bother reading this book? It's obviously about motorcycles, right? No, not entirely. Motorcycling does play an integral role for the main character of this book. But in all reality, this is a crime noir, police procedural, detective thriller that has been described as having sci-fi DNA. There is a time travel element to it. The main character loves to ride. That's one of the key points here. So I'd like to read you a quick excerpt from the book, and I'm going to do this in every episode, giving you just a little bit more insight into what this book is. Giving you a little bit of background, we're at a point where the main character has just purchased himself a motorcycle and is leaving the city of Las Vegas, heading eastbound. Over the next 2 days, I scrubbed the bike's carburetor clean, change out all the fluids, and replace most of the seals. By the time I'm done, the engine purrs as though it just came off the assembly line, and the shocks handle every bump in the road without any complaint. There's enough room in the saddlebags to hold a change of clothes, a second pair of boots, and a full tool set for anything that might go wrong with the motorcycle itself, as well as a general repair manual. I keep a sleeping bag and a one-man pup tent in the touring pack, as well as a tarp to cover the cycle in case I need to stop for inclement weather. Why I have such a natural affinity for these machines is just one more question to add to the list, but it is quite obviously something deeper than just a passing interest. When everything is ready, I find myself staring back at the passenger seat, thinking of Tara and the warmth of her embrace as we spun around the city. I cast an eye back at my hotel room door, more fond memories leaving a satisfied ache deep within me. Leaving the city and heading into the desert, I face punishing wind gusts that threaten to run me off the roadway, and a heat index that seems angry with me for trying to escape this place. No matter how hard I push the engine, the wind never offers any bit of comfort, only creating a furnace blast of air as it pelts me with granules of desert sand. By the time I reach Arizona, my teeth are crunching grit, and I've got a collection of yellow streaks from some large species of bug spread across the bike's windshield. The sweat evaporates from my skin as quickly as it shows up, and I am more than ready to stop and get some electrolytes back into my system by the time I need gas. After 8 hours in the saddle, I set up my tent at a campground somewhere just east of Albuquerque. Every part of my body is sore and thankful for the day to be done, but my mind is in a place of ease I can't remember having experienced before. Tune in next week for the rest.